That was some guys coming from Vietnam. I was 20 years old, and then like if I go out at night and I come in, I see guys sitting on the bed shooting up.
Heroin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was they was in my platoon, my barrack. My name is Bob Elmore, and I serve in the 82nd Airborne, uh, which did me a lot of good. When I finished high school, I'm not gonna say I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, but didn't have any directions. My father called me one day. I didn't even have a job, and he called me in the house one day, and he said, "Well, you got to go get you a job, or you got to get out of my house." At the time, I hated it. The best thing he ever could have done for me.
But now you didn't join the military. You got drafted, right?
Well, I got drafted, and then I went and joined the 82nd Airborne. When you get drafted, you only get to do 2 years, but then they'll send you where they want to send you.
Okay.
And I had a friend, and he suggested, he said, "Well, I think you'll like the 82nd Airborne." And I asked him why. He said, "Because of your personality." And I'm glad I did. During that time, it was like $55 a month, which was a lot of money back then. I think when I went in, I was making about $400 a month. The first 2 months was real rough, but it was a lesson to me. There was a time when I first went in, they had the outside pay phone booth. I did not have a dime to call home. I couldn't get 10 pennies together. So I had to go into the orderly room, which was the office, to make a phone call to call home.
Wow.
That was a lesson to me, and I swore to myself that I would never be in that situation again in my life. And as fate would have it, there was a time in my life, I think it was, I think before I got married, it was like I got married in 78, where I was working, they laid off the whole night crew. And it was tough, but I found a job 2 weeks later. And ever since then, and I got this saying, and I tell young people, if you don't have any money and you don't have any access to it, you got a lot of problems. In the same token, if you don't have any money and you have access to it, you're okay. So life lesson. I learned a lot of things over the years. A lot of it, well, some of it from talking to different people, and some of it from life experience. There's some things in my life, most of the things in my life, I wouldn't change. Like the conversation we had this morning, the thing that we've gone through while we was young, made us into the men we are today. Like even the military, sometimes I can be overly disciplined, but that's just who I am. And I was telling the guy just last week, one of the guys, we came to rehab, and I told him some of the things. He said, "Do you think you like that because of the military?" I said, "Well, that was always in me. The military just brought it out."
Mm.
So,
Was your mom and your dad strict on you coming up?
they were, but I had a conversation with my younger brother just Sunday. We have an aunt. She's maybe 2 years older than us, and he answered her, yes sir and yes ma'am. I said, "You answer her yes or yes ma'am?" He said, "Yeah, that's what I was raised." I said, "Well, I don't. I raised myself." He just started laughing. He said, "That's the difference between you and I." But she was more of a sister than there was an aunt. I think I told you, like my personalized tag is rule breaker.
Why is that?
One of my best friend, his personalized tag was rule maker. We're just the opposite.
Right.
I would take things to the limit, to where they're almost illegal. To maybe one step further, it would become illegal. But I'll take things to the borderline. Not that I do things illegal. I don't. I guess just my personality. Like you tell me, don't do it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Just because you say don't do it. That's been my personality all the while.
And how did that serve you in the military?
I don't think it. Well, I don't think it did. Uh, well, it did because I think I told you I was like a nonconformist.
Right.
Uh, I don't know. It helped me in a sense to where it helped me get promoted. Um, when you get these lieutenants that just come out of college, ROTC, they always by the book.
Mm.
Well, the book is just for if you don't know what to do. Instead of depending on the people who's been there to done that, who's done that. Uh, I do things. It's not by instinct. I mean, I evaluate things, and okay, it'll be better this way. Uh, Not to show them that their idea wasn't a good idea, but to show them that there's a better way. And it kind of worked real well for me. And even in civilian life, um, there was a job I had uh, back then. It was back in '78 when the computer was about as big as this wall, and I was in Air National Guard for a little while, and there was a computer operator job came over. And I started off in the mailroom. So if I would have gone to summer camp, they was gonna get a job to somebody else. So I I told my commander that I wasn't going to summer camp. And so he said, well, we talked to the base commander, Colonel Turnessy. I said, well, I talked to Turnessy. He basically ran the same thing to me that my commander said, and I said, well, I'm not going. And I did get the job by staying there. I did get the
As
job.
a computer programmer
Yes.
in
Well, computer operator.
in 1978.
1978.
That was some of the first generation computers, wasn't it?
That's when the computer was big as this wall, and your drive was bigger than car tires. Uh, I have never had the same job twice. I'm the only one in my family that had never worked for the state. Wife, mom, dad, brothers, even my daughter. I had the mindset, when you work for the state, they give you comp time, overtime. I don't need comp time. When I work overtime, I want money. I guess my personality, I am so different. If you ever be around my wife and myself, she'll tell you some of the stories. I know when my daughter was young, my wife started telling some of the stories like when we was dating. My daughter, she said, no, not my dad. Yeah, your dad. As they say, I was a hoot. But I
So
don't.
being a rule breaker, nonconformist, it didn't hurt you in the military.
No.
Because it gave you a sense of bravery, a sense of want to
It
just
did.
do it. So like you knew not to break certain rules in the military,
True.
because that would be
That was a no-no.
that was a no.
Yeah.
So it was still a bit of discipline that they instilled, or maybe your dad and your mom instilled in you that you then took over to the military.
I was different from all my brothers. Quite different. I was the second older of eight boys, and we all got different personality. I think my personality was to the extreme. I love my mom and dad. My dad worked 2 jobs. My mom didn't work. I started working, I think, when I left the 8th grade. The type clothes and shoes that I wore, I knew my dad couldn't afford them. My shoes and clothes cost more than what my dad did. It's just one of those things, you got a house full of boys, and each one had to be treated different. And there was a lot, like the younger guys up under me, I think they were shown a lot more love because they was there at the house longer than me. But like I said, I don't regret my upbringing. I grew up in the projects.
Where at?
In Trenton Court. It wasn't as bad as people thought it was back then.
Trenton Court, which is now
Columbia Square.
Columbia Square.
Yeah.
It's nice over there
A
now.
beautiful place, man.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place. But back then, the whole neighborhood was like a family.
Right.
If Miss Ross saw you doing something there, she had the authority to chastise you. Then when you got home, you got another one. Then my daddy, like I say, he had 2 jobs. He got off at 12 o'clock at night. That was some nights I got woke up, covered man snatched off, and then that belt, and you, on that second lick, that's when you realize, man, I'm getting tore up, you know.
But nowadays, if another neighbor or even your dad did that, it would be.
You got to fight the kids and you got to fight the parents, and that's why I talk to my nephew every morning about discipline, about not hanging with the wrong crowd. There are people, even family members, they don't want you to do well. A lot of what they call haters, jealousy, and all. He's a good kid. His mom, I think she died this year or last year, and his dad, he died 2 years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and he's staying with one of my nephew, my brother's son. Both, I say he's my great nephew, but we don't use great. We just say nephew.
For sure.
I mean, he is a great kid. I talked to him yesterday, and I talk to him every morning. Okay, what are you gonna do this weekend? What are you gonna do after school? And he told me yesterday, depending upon his ACT, he'd like to go to the Navy. Be a good move. That would give you time to decide. If you don't know what you're going to do with your life, give you time left to decide, okay, what I want to do in my life. Do you want to stay military 20 years, or you just want to get out and got other plans? Like me, I just did 3 years. I had some plans that I wanted to do when I got out of the military. I did not do them, but I don't regret it. I went to a incubator. It was years ago, and it was like when you want to start a business. And the first thing they tell you, if you don't have the support of your spouse or your better half, it's not going to work. Years ago, when I used to go out of town, I would go to a different restaurant and see how they operate. There was a seafood place called Papa Do's. Mm-hmm. They got one in Birmingham now. Mm-hmm. He had a seafood place, Mexican place, and Italian place. And my wife, she even said, you know, with your personality, you do well in a restaurant. But when it came time for me to do that, I think she thought that I was going to quit General Electric and do that, which I wasn't. But that was probably the only thing in my life that I wanted to do that I hadn't done. Now it's not even a priority. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to enjoy life, enjoy retirement. And the restaurant business is not a 40-hour business. It could be 18 hours. Sometimes it could be 20. Then you got to start back over the next day. When I went in the National Guard, I knew the thing that I could do as for the rules and regulations, and I couldn't do. I would go and be late for formation every month. And I did it until somebody said something. So when they said something, I would be on time, then I'll just leave. That was part of me, like I said, being a nonconformist. The unit I was in was a great unit. I had gotten the military out of my system. I think they was paying like $90 a month. And that was a time in my life where that $90 a month, it helped more than.
Yeah, maybe buy some food or something.
Yeah. I don't regret it. I met some friends out there. No, from 72 to 75 in the regular Army. And then I didn't join the National Guard probably 78 when I got married. I think I was in there maybe no more than 6 months. I had got up. And see, in the type job that I had, by me being in reserve, I worked 1 weekend a month. Mm-hmm. So I only had maybe 2 weekends a month that was free. I was a weekend person. I like my weekends off. Even to today, even the job that I've had, I've always had holidays and weekends off. When I first started with General Electric, I was on shift work. Ooh, I hated it, man. During that time, I've only had 1 weekend off a month. I either worked days, evenings, and midnight that weekend. So I got to. They sent me to school to be an electrician, off every holidays, off every weekend, man. So that was a perfect job for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've always done well on job that I've had. I do extremely well on job where I'm going to different places and meeting different people. I'm not an office type work person.
Yeah.
Uh, even though I worked in the lab, I did real well, but I like, as I say, walking around messing with folks. You know, seeing when an electrician, you see different things every day, but you in the office, you pretty much see the same thing every day. Become routine, mundane, and I don't like jobs like that.
After the Vietnam War, you went to a base and you saw people on drugs, or you
Yeah.
went to a city?
Well, that's when I was in the military.
Yeah.
72. Yeah, that's like in 72.
Right after the Vietnam conflict.
That was some guys coming from Vietnam. I was 20 years old, and then like if I go out at night and I come in, I see guys sitting on the bed shooting up.
Heroin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was they was in my platoon, you know, my barrack. Like the guys that was from, you know, not to throw shade on New York and Chicago, but those guys, man, they thought it was cool to do heroin, man, you know, and I'm just glad I never experienced that.
Glad you didn't.
Well, there's other help besides drugs, and my daughter is a therapist, and she can't treat any family member. She can't discuss what's going on in her life. Drugs is only short time. When I say short time, you shorten your life. The VA now, there are so many avenues that you can seek help, and that's the problem. They won't seek help for whatever reason. Embarrassed, don't know who to talk to, or when people do talk to them, they don't want to listen. I think one of the things that they say, well, how do you know what I'm going through if you never experienced? But I can see what it's doing to you. And I am so blessed that I had the discipline to not to get on drugs to help me with a problem. One of my best friend, we was Army buddy. He's in Texas, and he and I, we talk a lot. We went to Las Vegas the first of this month. We laughed so hard, man. I mean, you know, we talk about our past experience, the young girls in the military, you know, we mess with. And I talked to him yesterday. He said, man, and he's still telling people about the experience that we had, the good time that we had in Las Vegas. I laughed so hard, man, that I started hyperventilating. But it was a good laugh, though.
That's good.
And one thing about people like us, we spend the majority of our time encouraging and making people laugh. We don't get a chance to laugh ourselves. We stayed up there 2 days for the performance driving class, and the other 2 days we stayed in Las Vegas, man, and just talked about old times, just laughed, man. I don't drink anymore. When I had, I think my first knee replacement, the medication that I was on, it said no alcohol. So I was on it for like 6 months. Okay, that was enough for me. Don't need it anymore. This was last February. We went to a party. My wife was a friend of mine, and she ordered a lemon drop. She said, I don't want to taste it. I stuck my tongue in it. I had a buzz. You know, I got a friend that has a football suite at Alabama State Stadium.
Nice.
And I was drinking during the whole football game, I would drink about 3 glasses of wine. I get drunk, so I cut it down to 2. Drank 2, I want to flirt. So I drank 1, still want to flirt. So I just drink milk Sprite now, man. You know.
Yeah.
And it's all depends on what quality of life that you want.
That's right.
Alcohol and drugs ain't the way to go. I don't think, yeah, that was one friend I had that we used to hang out together back in the 70s. This guy was so cool, man. What was so disheartening to me, he got on drugs. He's off now, but I never would have thought that he would be hooked on it. He was just that cool, man. He was cool. We had one guy that what we called the philosopher, one guy that was the ladies' man. Me, I was the know-it-all, so I thought. Some good guys, man. I think out of that group, there's only two of us left, myself and the guy I told that got on drugs. But he's off drugs now. He got his life together, man. He came out here to one of the cookouts, man. I've been trying to get him to come back. And I'm not sure, I hardly ever see him, but I call him every now and then. I'm not even sure that he's having any military pain, any pain that, I don't know.
And you said you walked in here on a cane.
Yeah.
And to sort of pivot, a lot of people don't realize this Tesla technology, this using the body's electricity. A lot of people, especially vets, don't realize. But I'm starting to see every morning there's people in here religiously.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it helping. What would you say to people that maybe are tired of the pills, tired of the feeling the grogginess, the opiates, being hooked on those, and just want an alternative? What would you say about this place and they have no idea about this place?
I've had the steroid shots. It don't work. I've had steroids before. It gives me the hiccup all day for a week. And so I was telling my VA primary doctor about it, and she recommended me to come here. Like I said, I've had meniscus surgery. I have 2 knee replacements. I'm a lot better now than I was maybe 2 years ago. And I've gone through the therapies where after you have surgery, they will actually take that knee, man, and stretch it, because at a certain time you have to be at a certain degree. But even now, I'm better than what I was, but I still can't walk long distance. When I was in Las Vegas, and even now, I find myself when I'm walking, I'm not raising my right leg enough to where I'm not tripping, and I do that sometimes. So I'm gonna have to get that looked at. I think I got an appointment next month. The shots don't work. All the shot is doing is just masking the problem. It's deadening the nerve.
So this is helping stimulate and sort of repair the damaged nerves?
Yeah.
And when you first started doing it, were you a little skeptical of it, or were you open to try it? Or
I had to be open to trying, because the other thing wasn't working. I've learned so much by being here. Like you say, the muscle stimulation. If the muscle is not strong on either end, you're not going to get better. And his concept of stimulating the muscle is like you're exercising, but you're not leaving the room. You sit down, and the electricity, it exercises the muscle without you getting tired.
And it doesn't shock you?
No, it doesn't. I've gone up to 100%.
On the box?
Yeah. That's that competitive nature. One guy, where you at now? I'm on 85. So he'll come up to 85. And I didn't get that word juice from him. I said, juice me up.
Juice me up.
Juice me up. Take me to 100. Man. And I really...
And it doesn't electrify you more so than just gives you a bit of a jolt of...
Yeah. And I think I've taken it back down to 85. Because when I do 100, I actually leave here tired. I think 85 is the happy medium. But every now and then, go ahead and take my turn. No, just because.
And you said before that you messed your knee up because you just started at 3 miles, did 5, did
Nah.
7.
The way my mind said, well, it's not enough. It's not doing anything. Then okay, let's do 7. But I think it all started in the military, by being a paratrooper, and they frown upon you going to sick call. Back then, we ran in boots, fatigue, and t-shirt. I talked to a guy that was on Fort Bragg. He just got out reading. He said, "I'm not sure about the airborne unit, but what we call the leg unit, non-airborne, they run if they want to, and if they do, it's in running shorts and running shoes." I think the farthest I ever ran in military, it was a nice, cold, brisk day. We ran 6.5 miles. I've never been able to duplicate that. Like the sneakers that you play tennis in, But, and I don't want to use the word brainwashed, but that's how they train you to be hard. And like you said, you're invincible. But in the long run, it'll catch up with you.
But now you were probably, not only was the exercises what you were after, but there was sort of a dopamine release that was happening as you were running.
Oh, man.
That
Oh, yeah.
was sort of,
Oh, yeah.
felt good, I'm sure.
There was days I couldn't wait to get home to run, man. It was you probably heard of a runner's high.
Mm-hmm.
There is such a thing as
For
a runner's
sure.
high. When I started having a problem with my knees, I started riding the bike. I was doing like 20 miles a day. So once I do the 20 miles a day, I worked on my time. I told you before that, and I'm still shy, but it just, sometimes the spotlight will find me, and I tell people I embrace it. And my wife would tell you put him on a mic. Oh, man. But I guess that's just part of my personality.
How could you be so patriotic to a country that was kind of treating you not very well?
It was an outlet for us.
Okay.
And I don't want to say, well, it was the country because the people make the country.
That's right.
But I think the saddest part is when you have people in power, the people in leadership position. Because I experienced this. Like one of the first sergeant I had, man, I don't see why he was even in the 82nd. I mean, he was just old fat slob, and he was really, really racist, man. And he didn't try to hide. He was from some parts of Georgia. After he left, we got a first sergeant Gainey. Never forget. He didn't care what race you were.
White.
Right. Yeah.
But he was a white guy? Or?
Right. He was a white guy.
Gotcha.
I'll never forget First Sergeant Gainey. The thing is, you can pretty much tell when a person is racist when they go through the point where they try to prove to you that they are not racist. They are. Just by being around a person, even in a conversation, you can tell.
For sure.
I remember years ago, a friend of mine, his girlfriend was moving to Greenville, and little young baby, 2-3 years old, came to the door, and his daddy said, "Close that door before the boogeyman gets you." And the little boy said, "Well, ain't the boogeyman them niggas?" So he was taught that at an early age.
That's terrible.
Now, has it gotten better? It has, but there's a long way to go. I think the racists now, they got a much better way of hiding it. When I was in school, there was no whites. My daughter went to school, there were whites. So it's still there, but it's not like it was back in the 60s and 70s.
All right. Well,
Unfortunately, and well, maybe I do want to sound political. The person that's in the office now, he's trying to get rid of all of that. Like the Smithsonian Institute, he's trying to erase all the black history pertaining to slavery. He's saying slavery wasn't that bad, and you got a person in power say, well, if it wasn't for slavery, blacks wouldn't have the skill that they have now. But that is not true. We've always had the skill that we've had, but it was just amongst ourselves. I think racism will always be there. That just human nature.
It is.
If it, well, it'll always be us. But there was racism against the Asian people, Indians,
The Irish people.
Irish people. So it wasn't just black. It just black felt the bulk of the
Yeah,
blunt
for
of it.
sure.
We had our first white teacher maybe in '69.
Was he a pretty cool guy? Hopefully.
One of them was, see, that was two male and one female. But during their time, they still had their apprehension about coming to an all-black school.
Gotcha. Which is understandable.
Yeah, oh,
'cause
yeah.
There was so much tension.
Yeah. Like in my family, they never taught us to hate anybody.
That's right.
You know, we're all the same. And I was doing the time, I think it was, I remember the 65 March. My older brother, he went with my dad, and my dad wouldn't let me go. I don't know why.
Your older brother went with your dad?
Yeah.
To the-
With the one they had in Montgomery, from
Yeah.
the 7th to Montgomery. And where we lived, I don't know where they started at.
But they were a part of the march.
They was part of that.
That's
and,
amazing.
And then he wouldn't let me go. He was only like a year or so older than me. Like I said, I've always had a different personality from my family.
What?
But I grew up during the time where the white on and the black on their signs, man.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know you have to open up and be vulnerable, so I really do appreciate it.
I know where to start and stop for my vulnerability.
Yeah, exactly.